Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Dennis the Candy Meister. You want some?
No thanks.
I just love them.
Maybe you should dial it down a notch, because of your health. You already had 27 heart attacks.
You don't really think that I'm gonna die just because of some
Das ist ja mega lecker.
En పేరు కైలాసం. I'm good.
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Dennis the Bodymeister.
And today's movie was once again picked directly for us by one of our awesome Masala Meister tier supporters. If you want to choose a movie directly for us as well, please also consider becoming a patron or YouTube member.
Orange Mithai, which translates to Orange Candy, is a 2015 Tamil language comedy drama that was co-written and directed by Biju Viswanath. He also edited the movie and did the cinematography. It was produced by Vijay Sethupathi, who also stars in the movie alongside Ramesh Tilak, Aru Bala and Ashrita. Jimmy, what is Orange Mithai all about?
Orange Mithai tells the story of the young paramedic Satya and the grumpy old man Kailasam, and their unexpected and therefore surprisingly meaningful journey.
And what did you think?
All in all, I liked it. It's a nice little story, simple and sweet, with some really wonderful moments and an overall good vibe. But I still ended up slightly underwhelmed, to be honest. Maybe because I thought the first 25 minutes or so were really great. How about you?
I think we're on the same page here. It's a lovely movie that doesn't make a fuss or a big deal out of what it is. It's fairly short with its 95 minutes and they really fly by. The movie pushes the right buttons. Does it succeed in everything it does or tries to do? No, certainly not. But when it's good, it's really good.
I loved how we're introduced to the characters. First and foremost, Ramesh Tilak Satya, who is a determined paramedic, and his friend and colleague Arumugam, played by Aru Bala, who is constantly nagging about something. Their banter was nice and fun, and we immediately learned that Satya is a very honest guy, while Arumugam tries to steal money from patients. We also learn about Satya's relationship and engagement to Kavya, played by Ashrita, and that her father wants Satya to give up his job and instead work for him. Everything is established really well until the actual story, the encounter with Vijay Sethupathi's Kailasam, kicks in.
We quickly get the information we need to care about these people, especially Satya, and we just as quickly feel welcome in this world. The movie was shot around Tirunelveli in the south of Tamil Nadu, and the countryside becomes such a prominent facet of the story, it's almost another character.
The movie's able to paint a nice atmosphere and create something that's realistic but also poetic. The cinematography gives the film a kind of painterly touch with some beautiful shots that frame Satya in the vast landscape or before a sunset. And these shots aren't just nice images, they also add to Satya's characterization and emphasize that he's at a turning point in his life and that he has to make a decision.
In that way, Orange Mithai almost plays like a road movie. Satya is on his very own journey of self-discovery, which starts with him being sent to a patient that lives so remotely that he and Amurugam have to walk to his house for several miles. Self-discovery isn't easy.
And when the two of them finally meet Kailasam for the first time, it's easily the film's comedic highlight. The first scenes of them together are just wonderful. How Kailasam is bossing Arumugam around, how he demands to get carried, and not lying down, but sitting in the middle of the stretcher, which of course makes everything even harder.
Orange Mithai keeps a good balance between the comedy and the drama. Sure, it can be quite corny, but I think it walks on that thin line where it's just alright. Never too silly, never too soppy. So, like you said, it stays realistic in a way, and how the relationship between Satya and Kailasam develops also works quite well, at least in my mind.
I agree, but I have to say I really loved the film up to the moment where they carry Kailasam to the ambulance. From that point on, it was still a nice film, but I also felt it was meandering a little bit, and it felt undercooked to me. How Kailasam is behaving, what kind of man he is. I got a vague idea of it, but I didn't feel as if I truly got to know him. Some things were just rather perplexing, and his illness and how serious it is also felt kind of strange. Some things weren't clear enough for me.
I agree, but I think I didn't attach that much importance to it. I do get it though, and I totally understand it. The stuff with Kailasam's diabetes and kidney failure and his interesting but also bizarre way of digging his way into Satya's and Arumugam's personal affairs isn't established, and it's odd.
I was kind of baffled what his intentions were when he tried to manipulate Arumugam. Was he just bored and tried to troll the people around him? This made it hard for me to fully invest into his and Satya's growing relationship, which, after all, is supposed to be the heart of the film, I guess.
Definitely. But yeah, there are some strange anomalies or aberrations in this movie. The thing with Amurugam is one of them. There's also this curious moment where Kailasam wants to hook up Amurugam with Satya's girlfriend Kavya. I didn't get that. Does Kailasam want to have Satya all for himself, maybe?
I don't know, but how this even came up, I mean, right out of nowhere. It seemed like they didn't know what to do with the story at some points and then they just went with anything that came to mind. What was the deal with Arumugam and that girl who apparently stole his stuff? I honestly didn't get that either.
Yeah, that felt completely surreal. Part of that's probably caused by the tilted camera that Viswanath uses more than once. It didn't always make sense in my mind, but it looked cool and I actually like a lot of the scenes that were shot that way. Other than that, this mugging scenario is probably just in for some laughs or to illustrate the general chaos that they're in.
Maybe, but there's more. The conflict between Satya and Kavya and his inner conflict felt also a bit underdeveloped. It starts strong, but then there isn't much to it until the end of the movie.
Many aspects of this movie are only implied. We really only scratched the surface. That can work, but you get to a point where you want more, and where there's a risk that the movie becomes tedious, or maybe even a bit self-regarding. I think this doesn't happen here, but like I said before in regards to the corniness, it's a thin line.
Tedious is a good word. Kailasam and Satya are growing closer, but then again how he tries to interfere in Satya's relationship is really only hinted at. So they never grow that close that they really talk about it much. Still, you understand that Kailasam has probably always been a very difficult person and that he's regretting a lot of things, especially the estranged relationship with his son.
That moment when Satya realizes that Kailasam's son wishes his father dead, things become clear. It's a strong scene. I mean, you know that something's wrong with Kailasam's family, but it's only then when we head in a new direction and when the relationship between Satya and Kailasam reaches a new level.
Both Satya and Kailasam are looking for the person they lost in their lives. Satya lost his father, Kailasam lost his son. There are many heartfelt and beautiful scenes between the two of them where we get them and where the superficiality that we talked about is opened up. Adding to that is the very nice music by Justin Pravakaran.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes is one that was also prominently displayed in the trailer. Kailasam and Satya are in the cab and Kailasam suddenly says, "Stop the vehicle, I'm going to dance." A wonderful scene that is more meaningful and expressive than many others in this movie, and it emphasizes the motto of "the journey is a destination."
That motto, of course, encapsulates the whole vibe of the movie, and it's true, but everything still felt a bit underdeveloped to me, and it also almost felt like a little cop-out to put that text at the end of it.
That's actually corny, yes, but all in all, I had a good time with this lovely little movie.
So, what would we say in German about Orange Mitte?
Orange Mitte ist ein liebevoller kleiner Film, der zwar mitunter etwas schwerfällig daherkommt, insgesamt aber die richtigen Töne trifft und mit seiner Wohlfühlatmosphäre punkten kann.
I give Orange Mitte 6 out of 10. It's more like 6.3, but I don't do that.
For me, it's 7 out of 10. It's more like 6.7, but I don't do that either. Did you know that if you laid out all the candy corn produced in a year from end to end, you could circle the Earth more than 4 times?
Didn't know that, but it's not totally unexpected. So, what are your thoughts about Orange Mitte? Leave a comment. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd and also on Patreon, simply at the Jimmy Cage.
And you can hit me up on Twitter at the Bodymeister.
And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.